Hey guys, Lord Naren White here, the Holy Ghost, the one true God. Back with you with the next video in my series, Great Expectations. Without further ado, returning to Great Expectations by Charles Dickens. Doing as I had often done, I went in and stood, touching the old chimney piece, where she could see me when she raised her eyes. There was an air or utter loneliness upon her that would have moved me to pity, though she had wilfully done me a deeper injury than I could charge her with. As I stood compassionating her, and thinking how in the progress of time I too had come to be a part of the wrecked fortunes of that house, her eyes rested on me. She stared and said in a low voice, "Is it real?" "It is I, Pip. Mr. Jaggers gave me your real note yesterday, and I have lost no time. Thank you, thank you." As I brought another of the ragged chairs to the hearth and sat down, I remarked a new expression on her face, as if she were afraid of me. "I want," she said, "to pursue that subject you mentioned to me when you were last here, and to show you that I am not all stone. But perhaps you can never believe now that there is anything human in my heart." When I said some reassuring words, she stretched out her tremulous right hand, as though she was going to touch me, but she recalled it again before I understood the action, or knew how to receive it. "You said, speaking for your friend, that you could tell me how to do something useful and good, something that you would like done. Is it not?" "Something that I would like done very much." "What is it?" I began explaining to her the secret history of the partnership. I had not got far into it when I judged from her looks that she was thinking in a discursive way of me rather than of what I had said. It seemed to be so, for when I stopped speaking, many moments passed before she showed that she was conscious of the fact. "Do you break off?" she asked then, with her former air of being afraid of me. "Because you hate me too much to bear to speak to me?" "No, no," I answered. "How can you think so, Miss Havisham? I stopped. I stopped because I thought you were not following what I said." "Perhaps I was not," she answered, putting a hand to her head. "Begin again, and let me look at something else. Stay. Now tell me." She had set her hand upon her stick, in the resolute way that sometimes was habitual to her, and looked at the fire with a strong expression of forcing herself to attend. I went on with my explanation, and told her how I had hoped to complete the transaction out of my means, but how in this I was disappointed. That part of the subject, I reminded her, involved matters which could form no part of my explanation, for they were the weighty secrets of another. "So," said she, assenting with her head, but not looking at me, "and how much money is wanting to complete the purchase?" I was rather afraid of stating it, for it sounded a large sum. £900. "If I give you the money for this purpose, will you keep my secret as you have kept your own?" "Quite as faithfully." "And your mind will be more at rest?" "Much more at rest." "Are you very unhappy now?" She asked this question, still without looking at me, but in an unwonted tone of sympathy. I could not reply at the moment, for my voice failed me. She put her left arm across the head of her stick and softly laid her forehead on it. "I am far from happy, Miss Havisham, but I have the other causes of disquiet than any you know of. They are the secrets I have mentioned. After a little while, she raised her head and looked at the fire again.
It is noble in you to tell me that you have other causes of unhappiness. Is it true? Too true. Can I only serve you, Pip, by serving your friend? Regarding that as done, is there nothing I can do for you yourself? Nothing. I thank you for the question. I thank you even more for the tone of the question. But there is nothing.
She presently rose from her seat and looked about the blighted room for the means of writing. There were none there, and she took from her pocket a yellow set of ivory tablets, mounted in tarnished gold, and wrote upon them with the pencil in case of tarnished gold that hung from her neck.
You are still on friendly terms with Mr. Jaggers?
Quite.
I dined with him yesterday. This is an authority to him to pay you that money, to lay you out at your irresponsible discretion for your friend. I keep no money here, but if you would rather Mr. Jaggers knew nothing of the matter, I will send it to you. Thank you, Miss Havisham. I have not the least objection to receiving it from him.
She read me what she had written, and it was direct and clear, and evidently intended to absolve me from any suspicion of profiting by the receipt of the money. I took the tablets from her hand, and it trembled again, and it trembled more as she took off the chain to which the pencil was attached, and put it in mine. All this she did without looking at me.
My name is on the first leaf. If you can ever write under my name, I forgive her, though ever so long after my broken heart is dust. Pray do it. Oh, Miss Havisham, said I can do it now. There have been sore mistakes, and my life has been a blind and thankless one, and I want forgiveness and direction far too much to be bitter with you.
She turned her face to me for the first time since she had averted it, and, to my amazement, I may even add to my terror, dropped on her knees at my feet, with her folded hands raised to me in a manner in which, when her poor heart was young and fresh and whole, they must often have been raised to heaven from her mother's side. To see her with white hair and her worn face kneeling at my feet gave me a shock through all my frame. I entreated her to rise, and got up my arms about her to help her up. But she only pressed that hand of mine, which was nearest to her grasp, and hung her head over it, and wept. I had never seen her shed a tear before, and in the hope that the relief might do her good, I bent over her without speaking. She was not kneeling now, but was down upon the ground.
Oh,
she cried, despairingly.
What have I done? What have I done? If you mean Miss Havisham, what have you done to injure me? Let me answer. Very little. I should have loved her under any circumstances. Is she married? Yes.
It was a needless question, for a new desolation in the desolate house had told me so.
What have I done? What have I done?
She wrung her hands and crushed her white hair and returned to this cry over and over again.
What have I done?
I knew not how to answer or how to comfort her. That she had done a grievous thing in taking an impressionable child to mold into the form that her wild resentment, spurned affection, and wounded pride found vengeance in, I knew full well. But that, in shutting out the light of day, she had shut out infinitely more, that, in seclusion, she had secluded herself from 1,000 natural and healing influences, that her mind, brooding solitary, had grown diseased, as all minds do, and must and will that reverse the appointed order of their Maker. I knew equally well. We'll go ahead and stop there for this week. As usual, I want to say thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. Please like, comment, and subscribe, as it greatly helps the channel. Light be with you all. Take care. And thanks again.